This feels like a much longer walk than I anticipated. And of course, I always have to adjust this because clearly some of us are giants. Well, first of all, I would like to start with acknowledgement of country and acknowledge the traditional owners on the land that you and I meet today. For centuries, the Gandagal people have practiced their traditions, raised their families, worshipped, and dreams on these lands that we now refer parts of as Sydney. I pay my respects to their elders past and present who continue to maintain connection to one of the oldest civilizations on earth. And I pay my respects to young leaders who work to preserve that culture, customs, and way of life. Now, we who all meet here tonight from different walks of life in one of the most multicultural societies in the world, and especially we who have found some refuge in this country and who seek to call it home, we can never tell our stories without acknowledging those who first loved and cared for this continent. On becoming part of this country, we not only get a home, we equally inherit a history. And that history shows that our ongoing business of nation building remains incomplete, that questions of justice, of equality, and reconciliation remain unanswered, and that perhaps we all have a duty to reflect on how this nation can live up to its highest ideals, not just for those of us who recently arrived, but for those who have always cared and loved this nation, its first peoples. Now, second, I'd like to thank Tamar Sai and Abdullahi Abdi for sharing their stories. These are, of course, powerful stories that speak to their own personal character, but I think they also demonstrate how, when given an opportunity, many people often turn it into a lifetime of achievement. The opportunity enjoyed, however, would not be possible without the work of our Article 23 employers. Now, you would all know, especially if you're a refugee and have had to rely on the Universal Declarations of Human Rights, that Article 23 refers to that clause that provides that everyone has a right to work. But more importantly, it's just not work. It is work that ensures existence worthy of human dignity. And combined with the tenacity and the resilience of our interns and graduates who come through Career Seekers, and the dedicated work of Career Seekers itself, I think Article 23 employers, many of whom are in this room, do indeed help us break down those barriers that would deny access to an existence worthy of human dignity. But I think it's more important than just personal dignity that benefits from creating pathways for migrants and refugees. Migration has been essential to Australia's safety and prosperity, and people in this room might even play a small role in Australia's future. We know that in the 1940s, Australia was called to populate or perish, and that migrants from around the world, or some parts of the world, responded to this call and contributed to 2 decades of growth. And then in the 70s, the Whitlam government dismantled the white Australian policy, allowing people who might look like me to call this home too. And that ended up with creating one of the most multicultural and prosperous nations in the world. And then in the 90s, Keating used skilled migration to get Australia out of a recession and into the longest period of economic growth recorded anywhere in the world. Today, the challenges Australia faces can only be responded with by the way we also respond with our immigration policy. And according to the Australian Migration Strategy that was released just last month, you can read it. It's quite long, has many government documents, but you can try and use it as something to go to sleep if you come too high. It does really paint the challenges that are significant that Australia will face. We have an aging population that will need more healthcare workers than domestic supply is able to provide. Our economy is stuck in a productivity rut, and Australia confronts the most challenging geopolitical situations since the 1940s. As the Home Affairs Minister said, immigration will play a key part in how we respond to all these challenges. The government proposed solutions, I think, create an opportunity and a policy environment for our Article 23 employers to step up and link up. A key reform is to make sure that the systems work efficiently for employees and migrants, and to support business and organizations to improve job readiness and outcome for refugees and permanent residents. I think that fits in very squarely with the kind of work that CareerSeekers does, and Article 23 employers can continue, and I hope that it provides Article 23 employers with the opportunity to not only continue working with us, but to increase their involvement with career seekers. It only remains to then say that I want to thank them, though, as we imagine this future, for all the work that they've contributed, for every person that you've allowed through your doors, who you've not only guaranteed employment, but an access to a living that is worth of human dignity. I want to also thank career seekers and their staff who put on this amazing event for all their efforts, for their planning, and for their dedication. And then to all of you who continue to support the work of career seekers, thank you so much. Have a good night.